Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
All right, station, this is Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook. Can you hear me okay? It's great to talk to you guys too. I have to say, when you're building products to try to connect everyone in the world, connecting folks who are out in space is about as extreme and cool as it gets. So it's awesome to have the opportunity to talk to you guys today. Thanks for doing this. So I think we should start by, can you...
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Can you introduce yourselves and your roles and how long you've been working up there for? Nice. So let's start with a couple of questions here about the science that you're doing on board the space station. So what kind of research are you doing in space that we can't do anywhere else? All right, so I'm curious to hear about what kind of technology you guys are working on that's going to help us travel to Mars. Beyond, of course, all the communication technology that we're working on to be able to connect with you guys to make sure that that works. All right, so let's take some questions from the thread. And by the way, it's awesome to see the microphone just flying around over there. That is not something that I'm used to, even in our virtual reality lab, where we can make stuff like that. We just haven't yet. So let's go to the thread. So we got a question from Hakeem, which is obviously astronauts train extensively for this kind of a mission. But is there anything in particular that you weren't expecting or that surprised you? Like the microphone. You know, I have to say, I think it's amazing how precise everything that you guys do has to be. So just getting ready for this live today, which, by the way, is the first live that we've ever done to outer space. So that is awesome. You know, normally at Facebook, sometimes we run a few minutes early or a few minutes late. And I know our team asked ground control, mission control, you know, if it was cool if we started a little late. And they responded, like, yeah, sometimes we start as much as 10 seconds late in our events. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. But it's amazing how precise you guys need to be in everything that you do to make things run safely. So, all right. So let's. So what's the next question that we should go to? We on the thread, Martha has written in. My second grade students in Florida, she's a teacher, want to know how do you talk to each other if you're all from different countries and speak different languages? Very impressive. So in addition to being top scientists and in great shape and very precise operationally, you also need to be linguists. So let's go to another question on the thread, which is a little more fun, is do food and drinks taste differently in space? Awesome. All right, so I want to make sure that we get back to our live community, because this is the first chance that we've had to stream live to space. So Rob has a question, which is, what advice can you give aspiring explorers like me regarding how you got to be where you are today on board the International Space Station? Yeah, I agree. I think it's a lot of the same stuff for becoming an entrepreneur as well. So, one question that I have is I've heard that you guys use social networking and social technology quite a bit to communicate with people back down on Earth. And I'm curious to hear how that goes, how the internet connection works, and basically, do you have any feedback for me on how we can make the service better for you? Gravity environment. I mean, what's the most fun thing that you've found to do that you didn't expect? So you just fly around and flip around the space station? So going back to science for a second, and you were talking about how a lot of this is experimenting on the human body to see what it can take in space. What's the longest period that any astronaut has remained in space? And what are the experiments that are being conducted geared towards future, longer space travel and exploration? All right. I think we probably have time for one more question. And, Facebook being a technology company, what I'm really interested in is, how all this works, right, scientifically and technologically. So I'm really curious to hear, what is your favorite, or what do you find to be the most interesting piece of technology involved in getting to space and operating the space station and all of what you guys do? Especially something that the audience who's watching right now might not be thinking about. All right. Well, I just want to take a moment to thank you guys. This has been an incredible experience. It's the first Facebook Live we've ever done with people from outer space, or in outer space. And it's amazing that this worked. And so it's a testament to all of the technology and work that folks at NASA are doing, and everything that you guys are doing to make it so we can really push the frontiers of what humanity understands and can explore. So, from someone here on Earth, thank you for all of the work that you're doing. It's really important, and I hope the rest of the trip goes well and safely, and that you learn a lot of good stuff from the experiments that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.